Okay, are we ready to do this? Hello, my internet friends. Today I shouldn't say that. I would like to film a video. I kind of need to if I want a video to go up this week. And I thought, since I'm going to be sitting here putting on my makeup, why not turn the camera on a little bit early so I can chat to you guys, put on my makeup, and therefore film 2 videos instead of one in one go, which is very helpful for me because I don't have a lot of time to film. So I'm gonna get my hair out of my way and we're gonna put on some makeup. I'm not gonna be doing anything too crazy. I might do the makeup that I generally wore over the summer months. I did have some holidays during the summer, not going anywhere, just I was at home. I had, I think in total, about 3 weeks off work over Christmas and the New Year period. And this is the kind of makeup I wore when I wore any makeup at all. So you can see some of the products that I've been using. I won't necessarily talk through all the products like a makeup tutorial, but they will be listed in the description box below. And if I'm feeling a little bit fancy, maybe I'll pop them up on the screen so you guys can see as well. I need to up my editing game. I still just use iMovie. I do actually have Final Cut Pro and I need to teach myself how to use it, but like with anything, there's a learning curve and I just don't have time for that learning curve at this point. But I'm hoping sometime in the future I will, and that will make editing not necessarily easier, but I'll have more options when it comes to editing and doing titles and fun things like that. But for now, you've got me putting on makeup and chatting to you about life. Okay, I got to find a brush. I should have actually got out the foundation. Over the summer, I did wear this particular foundation a lot, the L'Oreal Glam Beige Healthy Glow Foundation. I have the shade Light and Medium Light. I believe there's only about 3 shades in this range because it's not really a foundation per se. It actually says it's a light tan fluid infused with precious flower oils that instantly create a natural healthy glow, a new delicate experience that beautifies the complexion. I want to be beautiful, right? It's comfortable sheer finish, lightweight, velvety texture, exquisite fragrance. It has got a very strong fragrance, and I believe that's to cover up the fact that there's alcohol in it, which would smell. It's the 4th ingredient down, which is alcohol denat. I never know how to say that. So mixed feelings about the ingredients list, but I do like the way it looks. And I also have the NARS Natural Radiant foundation in a sample because this is an expensive foundation. It's $71 and I think around that from Mecca. So I wanted a sample. This is a shade DeVille and I think I might use that today just because, why not? I might also just grab, I do have some moisturizer on, but I'm going to pop a little bit of the First Aid Beauty Ultra Repair Face Moisturizer just to make sure my skin is thoroughly hydrated, particularly around my mouth because my lip actually split here. That's why it's quite red. So I want to make sure that's hydrated, and this is a nice one for day to day. I don't know if this has any SPF or not, but I'm not sure. So if I was going outside, I'd put SPF on, but I'm not, so I won't do that. Sorry, I'm looking down at my drawers now that they're all neatly organized. All my products are actually in my drawers, which is very, very exciting. I'm also just going to pop on a bit of the L'Oreal Infallible Mattifying Primer because I am filming, so I want to try and stay not too shiny. I just realized that I've got no mirror. I've just been sort of looking at the lens and around, so I have no idea where I'm actually putting this product on myself. I try so hard not to look at myself in the flip screen, and I actually have you guys connected to a monitor. I finally got the right cord to connect you to a monitor, which is over here. So if I look over here right now, I'm looking at myself, but I'm actually just looking at the side of my face because it's all flipped. And anyway, I'm still sorting that whole system out, and the monitor's not the highest quality, but at least I'm bigger. So I'm not looking at the teeny tiny screen over there. Today, I wanted to chat to you about stuff, not talk about the makeup that I was putting on. So let's get on with that. I know that a lot of you have been, or at least some of you, because you've been asking me about it, have been looking for a potential sort of life update chat, specifically about why I stopped making videos for almost a whole year. I did come back in December and do a little mini vlogmas, so I didn't technically disappear for all of 2017, but it was most of it. I definitely know that I was gone, and it wasn't a planned thing. Otherwise I probably would have done a video and said, hey guys, you know what, I'm going to take a break. And I didn't, because I actually even filmed at the start of last year a few videos, and I even edited them mostly, but they just never got up. And then the longer I went without filming, it just went on and on and on. And those issues and the reasons why I didn't quite feel like filming haven't necessarily gone away, but I'm trying to deal with them, and I'm trying not to let them stop me from living my life, because obviously it affects other parts of my life as well. But it's also a bit of a downer talking about that stuff, and it's obviously very personal as well. And whenever you put personal videos up on the internet, to be honest, whenever you put any type of video up on the internet, you are pretty much guaranteeing yourself that someone is going to leave you some kind of horrible negative comment that's just going to not make you feel particularly great. And there'll usually be a decent amount of those comments, and they often outweigh the many, many beautiful comments that I get left from the people who do support me and are just amazing, wonderful people. But those negative comments really play on your mind, and when you're talking about something super personal, those comments tend to affect you tenfold, which is why I have been very hesitant to do a video talking about that, mainly because I know that I'm going to get the, oh, you're just whining, you first world problems, whatever else people are going to comment on. So I'm not going to say that I'm never going to talk about it, because I think talking about issues, particularly to do with mental health and just struggling with life things, are important to discuss, because they help other people who are dealing with that kind of stuff feel less alone. But at the same time, I just don't feel like I'm in the right headspace to talk about it just yet. So I hope that makes sense to you guys. Anyway, I'll talk about it at some point, but just not right now. As for other things, I'm just looking at this foundation in my super close-up mirror. On the screen, it doesn't look too bad. It's actually quite a nice finish. On my close-up mirror, it does look a little bit cakey in some spots, and I'm wondering if that's potentially the other products I had on my skin, or if it's maybe because I used a brush. Maybe it would have been better with a beauty blender, although I feel like that's picking up the product now and lifting it. I might just pop a little bit of my Healthy Glow over the top. I don't know if this is a recipe for disaster, but I didn't actually spend that much time on foundation while I was on holidays and during the summer months. I feel like my skin has been in a relatively good place, just with different skincare that I'm using, which I will talk about in the favorites video, which I am going to film after this, but it's going to go up before this video. So if you haven't seen that, I'll pop a little link up on the screen for you guys to check that out, because I'll talk about some of the skincare products that I've been using. But as you would have seen at the start of this video, my skin's been pretty okay. I'm really scared to say that, because every time I mention that my skin is okay, it tends to freak out and break out, and it's this time of the month that it usually does that. So fingers crossed that I haven't just jinxed myself. I am using the Shape Tape, which is pretty much my concealer of choice for 2017, and will probably continue to be my concealer of choice for 2018. On days when I would use lighter foundation, I did just like this, just to conceal any sort of redness or blemishes that I had. And it's just a really lovely, great product, high coverage. I still don't necessarily think it's the 100% perfect concealer. Sometimes it can look a little bit dry. Sometimes it can look a little bit cakey, and I feel like the color range is a little bit strange. But overall, it's a pretty good foundation. Pretty good concealer, sorry. I just realized I'm looking super pale on screen. Let me try and fix that. Is that better? Do I look less like a floating head now? I feel like it might be. Okay, that's concealer all blended in. As for the rest of my life, it has been pretty much same, I would say. I feel like you haven't really missed that much. I'm still working at the same job for the time being, and it takes up a lot of my time. I have been in the process of looking at potential apartments to buy, which is something that I've wanted to do for a long time, but for any of you who know the Sydney property market, it's a little bit crazy, and I always feel like this is something that I kind of feel like I need to talk about on videos, because for people outside of Sydney, even just living in other parts of Australia and particularly in other parts of the world, the fact that I am 28, almost 29, which is crazy to think, and still living at home seems really, really strange. But for people who are from Sydney and know how expensive housing is in Sydney, it's completely normal. I know people that are 5, 6, 7 years older than me that still live at home, particularly if they're single. But even married couples, if they've been renting for a long time, they will often move back home to live with their parents or some other family member just so that they can save money, because their rent would basically take any money that they would put away for a house deposit. And for some context, I guess, even where I live, which is technically in Sydney, but I'm in the western suburbs of Sydney, I'm almost about as far out of the Sydney CBD as you can go and still be considered in Sydney. And even here, a new 2-bedroom apartment will probably sell for anywhere between 600,000, say, to $680,000 for a 2-bedroom apartment, which is a lot of money, as you can imagine. I don't know how that compares to prices in other parts of the world, but particularly on a single wage, unless you are a doctor or a lawyer or are earning a significant amount of money, which I am not any of those things, it's very, very hard to afford a property on your own. So it's something that I've looked into almost as an investment, and I'm still looking into it. There is an apartment that I have made an offer on. I wish I could say that that means that I would be maybe moving out and there'd be a whole bunch of like moving vlogs and decorating vlogs, because I love that kind of stuff. And I would love to be able to do that for you guys, but I don't know whether I will be able to afford to live in it at this point. And right now, I'm not even sure if the apartment will go through, because it's kind of gone back and forth. The seller wanted to sell, then didn't want to sell, and then couldn't sell, and then it's all back and forth. So I'm not 100% sure if that's going to happen or not. And if it doesn't, I'll keep on looking. But if you want to send me some good vibes, I would greatly appreciate it. And I'll definitely keep you guys up to date with that whole thing. It's a very nerve-wracking process, that kind of thing, because it's like the biggest thing you'll ever spend money on. And when you've never done it before, things like going to a mortgage broker and looking at the different mortgages and speaking to banks about money and looking at like home and contents insurance and all the different things that you need to do, it's so daunting. And I feel like I would have been much better off skipping Shakespeare in high school, or skipping like advanced algebra, and there being like Mortgages 101 as a class, because I feel like that would have been a much greater use of my time. Sorry, I'm just cleaning off my lips. I hate having stuff on it, and then I'm just gonna clean off some of my Gimme brow from my brows. Throughout summer, I honestly would skip pencil and basically just do Gimme brow on my brows. They're in fairly decent condition. I have had them tattooed, although that was a bit over a year ago now, so that tattoo has faded and I could probably do with a touch-up. I just can't quite afford it and trying to save all my money that I can. But yeah, they don't need a lot of work, which I'm very happy with. I'm going in with a little bit of cream product. That's why I haven't put any powder on my face. I certainly powder. I'm still in the oily skin type, even if my skin is in a little bit better condition. So I yeah, definitely still need to powder, but oh, I just realized I don't have a brush for this. But I've been loving the cream products. And this one from Benefit, what is it called? The Hoola Quickie Contour Stick. I know I mentioned it in my 2017 favorites. I'm happy I get to demo it for you if my hair would stay out of my face, or my little baby hairs. because it really is a lovely product, and as you can see, it just blends into the skin. So yeah, that's the apartment part of my life. I will potentially be very broke coming up, so there may be a lot less hauls on this channel. I might not be able to buy much makeup, which obviously I'll still have plenty, because you guys would have seen in my declutter I still have a very large makeup collection, but not a lot of new makeup or not a lot of new clothing necessarily coming in my way, because I'm going to be putting every penny that I have into potentially a mortgage, or maybe even buying some furniture, fridge, appliances, things like that, if I do happen to be able to live in the apartment. And I'm definitely the type of person that I would rather sleep on a mattress on the floor for 12 months, or use a cardboard box as a table, or just have my TV on the ground or whatever for a extended period of time, and save up for decent quality furniture or other products, over going out and furnishing something with a lot of inexpensive products really quickly just to sort of do it. I think that's something that I've learnt as I got older, that I definitely have expensive taste, and that I am inclined to want to get things done straight away, and then I kind of regret it, and then I end up spending double the money, because then I eventually want to replace those things that I bought that were inexpensive with more expensive things or better quality things. So yeah, I don't know whether you'll be seeing any kind of decorating videos in the upcoming future, but if it was the case, it would be a very slow process for me. I'd love to hear if any of you guys have stories of your first. I know that I have a lot of viewers that are older than me, and I have ones that are younger than me, but I'd love to hear about your experiences from when you sort of bought your first house, or maybe when you first moved out of home and you were furnishing your first apartment or house, whatever it is that you did. Any tips or things that I should think about. I'm always happy to hear advice. I can't guarantee that I'll always take it, because sometimes you have to make your own mistakes, but I am always happy to hear about people's experiences, and I'm happy to take advice, because like I said, I don't know what I'm doing and I'm just sort of winging it. I'm loving the cream blush right now. I'm going to skip quite fast through the whole tight lining process, because I know that that's not the best thing to look at on camera. I am just using these Eye of Horus pencils. I use a black one on my tight line, and then I use a dark brown one on my upper lash line, just to kind of define it. And like I've mentioned in some other videos, I really haven't worn a ton of eyeshadow in recent months, because I just don't have the time for that, and I much prefer spending more time on my base. So I kind of just use my finger and whatnot to smudge a bit of eyeliner in and then call it a day. I'm going to be using I don't know why I shook that, like you can see the product. I am going to be using the Benefit Badgal Bang mascara. I have been enjoying this quite a bit, and you will have seen me mention this in my favorites video, so I wanted to be able to put it on so you guys can see it in action. I have been using a lash growth serum, and if you follow me on Instagram, shameless little plug there, but I'll pop that up on the screen as well if you want to go follow me over there, because I do want to try and use stories a little bit more to show you things that I would potentially show you in a video but can't, because it's just either I don't have time to film, or it's not enough to warrant an entire video, if that makes sense. But I did talk about this mascara, and I showed a little demo when I first got it, and I showed my lashes and me talking about the serum that I used, and I actually had my lashes tinted and lifted as well, because it was something that I wanted to do a video on, but then I didn't get footage of, so I don't know whether I will, maybe at some point in the future. But I was just trying all different things that I could do to make my lashes as close to having lash extensions or wearing false lashes as possible, but have them be my natural lashes, because I know that a lot of people would love to try lash extensions but either can't because of the cost, or are worried about the damage that that kind of thing would do to your lashes. So I thought I would try some things and just see. And to be honest, I think I got my lashes to a point where they definitely looked like they could have been a natural set of lash extensions. And with mascara, I mean, I'm hoping that you can kind of see that. If I look down or look up, like you can see how lengthening that mascara is. And by putting on the mascara, I could almost pass for having on some individual false lashes or some false lashes. I was at the Priceline event and one of the girls at the Kiss booth who was actually handing out Kiss branded false lashes, she's like, "What lashes are you wearing?" And I was like, "None. Yay, my experiment worked." So I might talk about that more in a future video if any of you guys are interested. I think I've done most things. Oh, highlight. I didn't do highlight. I have, or over the summer, I did use the cream highlight that I got for Christmas, but before that, I used this one from Model's Own. It is an awesome drugstore highlight. It is just so pretty. And you can really make it intense, although I try not to go too over the top because I like to make my makeup look semi-natural. I'm not the, you know, full-on glam most of the time, or really any of the time. But this is just stunning. It's readily available now that it's in Priceline, and I know that it's sold in the UK. I'm not sure about the States. If somebody can let me know whether you can get Model's Own in the States or in Europe, or even in New Zealand, because I'm not 100% sure, but it is a stunning highlight. And if you can get your hands on it, it just has this gorgeous, like almost wet look glow. And then I'm going to set with the Velvetizer powder from Urban Decay. This one I did have an idea for a video for, and I should run it by you guys and just see if you would like, if it sounds like something that you would like to see. So this is the powder that you can mix with foundations. And I was thinking in the shower this morning, is where I do all of my best thinking, that I could potentially do a video where I sort of film it over a period of time and I just test this out, mixing it with a bunch of different foundations, because I've tried it with a few. I know the Designer Brands one that I quite enjoy. I love mixing it with this, but I haven't tested it out with all of my foundations, and obviously I wouldn't do that, but with a lot of different foundations. And I thought maybe I could pick a few and just do a like half my face with just the foundation, half my face with this product mixed in with the foundation, and then just sort of show you in the morning and then show you again in the afternoon, just to see how it wears, if it's better or worse, how it looks at the start of the day, that kind of thing. It'd be like little check-ins. It wouldn't be full in-depth reviews because otherwise the video would be too long. But if that sounds like something that you'd want to see, if this product has been something that you've been interested in, maybe after I spoke about it in my 2017 favorites, I will pop that one up on the screen as well if you didn't see that, just so you can hear me talk about it more. Yeah, let me know, and also leave me a comment letting me know which foundation you would like to see me mix the product into it, and maybe I'd pick like 5 different ones and just edit that all together. It'd be a little bit hard because I'd have to probably potentially do it on work days, and I leave for work when it's pitch black, so that's not the greatest for filming in. And I'd also have to go to work with half my face probably looking slightly different, particularly it would wear different throughout the day, but I could try and do it for you guys. I could make something work. So yeah, let me know if that is of interest to you. I've got one random piece of hair that just won't quit. Okay, lips. There wasn't one specific lip product that I can think that I reached for a lot over the summer, so I'm gonna just use my go-to lip liner, which is the Charlotte Tilbury Lip Cheat in Iconic Nude, or Pillow Talk, one or the other, but this one is Iconic Nude. Then over the top, I'm gonna pop on this Revlon ColorBurst Matte Balm in the shade 225 Sultury, which was something that I rediscovered through my declutter videos. And I love it. Not necessarily a summer color, but I like it anyway. I am gonna have to be careful that it doesn't get on my teeth when I'm filming. I did want to pop a little bit more blush on. This one is another one that I wore quite a bit from 2017, and just because I'm filming, I tend to get washed out a little bit. So I'm going to pop this on for an added layer of colour. This is Stunning Party from Tarte. Love it. And then I think that is it for my makeup and potentially for this chatty video. It was supposed to be short. It'll probably end up being long because I can't manage to film a short video. It's a problem of mine. I'm working on it. But I hope you enjoyed. I would like to talk more about my life. Not necessarily, but I did get asked to do a Q&A on one of my videos. So if that is something that you would like to see, pop a comment in the comment section below. Title it or start it with Q&A so I know it's specifically for the Q&A video, and maybe the video after this one will be a Q&A, and I'll take some of the questions that you guys have left in the comments and film that. It can be about anything, about life, about what's going on, what's going in the future, what's makeup, beauty stuff as well. I'd like to have it be a mixture of things, and I'll just pick some questions that I would like to ask or that I maybe haven't answered in the past. And I think that's it for me. So I'm going to be constantly doing that because I'm so worried that I'm going to have lipstick on my teeth. But yes, thank you for watching. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed, and I will see you in my next one. Bye guys.